In a previous video, I talked about pony vices. I showed the one that's on my other bench. This is the other bench, made in a similar way, but it's much lower to the ground. This is a heavier pony. They made different, I think maybe 3 different sizes. But I complained, I like they've got that tab that you can use the bench stops with. But I was complaining on that other video on the other channel, I think it was on the other channel, I lose track sometimes, that I couldn't find the big pony vise, the big clamps in all the stores I looked in, and this puzzled me. Well, I come to find out Pony isn't in business anymore, sort of. So I went and bought some more of these hold downs. Well, they're still available. But it's funny, it puzzled me as to why a company like that would all of a sudden kind of go out of business. And it was sudden. But in looking on the internet, I kind of figured it out now finally, but it's just a shame. These are the ones where you drill a 3/4 inch hole, you just tap them in. I'm probably most familiar with Pony for these type of clamps because they've been making these for a long time. They're a good clamp, pretty basic. But there again, I didn't see any of these in the stores. I saw knockoffs of these. But it turns out, Pony was based in, it's Pony Tool Company. They were in Chicago for over 100 years. And they all of a sudden, you're getting a lot of pressure from the imports and stuff all the time. It's hard for a company to continue to manufacture in this country. And supposedly, with Pony, it was a problem really with manufacturing in Chicago. I think what happens with companies like that, you start off in a company, in a town that is noted for its industry. But, okay, so this happened like in Detroit, the same thing, where you start an industry, the unions get interested in this, and pretty soon greed shows its face. Well, once things start getting unionized, when a company gets saddled with a union, unions tend to vote Democratic. Well, pretty soon the town that is built up around this industry gets to have a very liberal government. It's democratically controlled. And things just go downhill from there. Pretty soon you can't afford to run this industry in this town anymore. They tend to kill the goose that laid the golden eggs. If you can keep a company small enough to keep unions from getting involved in it, I think you're a lot better off. Because as soon as you get big enough, you get to be a target. Well, anyway, what happened then is Pony finally just said, enough of this fighting, after 112 years or something, and they just shut down. Well, before they shut down, they had bought another tool company, a little subsidiary tool company. So you can still find some Pony stuff The idea was they would continue to fill orders out of this other company. But like I said, the manufacturing in Chicago just shut down. So there is some pony stuff still available out there, being sold by this other company. But I would say, you know, if you're looking for things like the pony vices and the pony clamps, you really watch in, you know, thrift stores, rummage sales, and like on eBay. You gotta buy them now while you still can, because all that's in the stores is the knockoff stuff that comes out of China. You know, it's funny when they talk about these trade war with China. Well, we lost that trade war. You know, it's funny. You know, I was surprised with this power puller. You know, the Y Scott. I actually, you know, I was able to buy parts. This is an older one, but they still make the new ones exactly like this. You know, but there, it's a small family-owned business that have been doing this forever. They just keep it amongst themselves, you know. But as soon as, if you were to expand this company, start hiring a whole bunch of people outside, the union comes in, it would kill the company. You know, I know there's a lot of people that are pro-union, but you've shot yourself in the foot a lot of times. You know, the unions will kill manufacturing in this country, because there's no way, I don't know how these people can keep manufacturing in this country. You know, and when you're competing with stuff from overseas that is just dirt cheap, really subpar quality, though I see some being made that look identical to this, but you know, and I'm sure that's the deal. You know, like I looked at those clamps that I was looking for. They looked just like the pony ones, but they weren't pony. They were, you know, made in China. But they were actually, they cost as much as what I paid for my pony ones. So there was no bargain there. But I would say, you know, if you're into woodworking, like these vices are fantastic vices. You know, like I say, this is the bigger model. I've got the smaller one on the other bench. But it's just a shame to see that happen in this country. You know, we start out manufacturing this stuff, and pretty soon we're importing everything. You know, all these towns that get to have liberal governments in them, it brings in, immediately you've got all kinds of corruption. It's just humorous to see what happens in these cities. But you force all the companies out, unemployment goes way up, homelessness is rampant in these liberal cities. It's funny, you know, there's a pattern there, but it amazes me that people don't see that. But when they go to vote, they're voting their pocketbook now, they think, you know. Penalize companies that are actually doing a good job and just force them out. But that's what happened to Pony. But, you know, if you're looking at tools and you see that Pony, buy them. Because you're not going to be getting new ones. Just a shame. But that explains why I couldn't find them clamps.